Hola! So, I thought I'd take a minute and give you just a quick update on the farm. The farm. So, we've been in it since February. And when I say in it, we purchased it in February. We've only been in it now for about a month. Maybe not even a month straight as far as living in it. And I call it a farm because although it's only a little over 5 acres, because we butt up to the park system, and it's a part of the park that the public can't use or get access to, I call it 105 acres. But it was the original farm homestead for all of the land that was there in this area, and has on it the original bank barn, which was the biggest barn in that area at the time, built in the late 1800s. And it's, Jamie and I were just kind of sitting on the couch trying to figure out what we wanted to do in the retirement days, which were fastly approaching for Jamie, not so fastly approaching for Tony, by the way. And we figured, we're either going to sit on the couch and die early, or we better get busy on another project. And first we went and looked at a church. We knew where we wanted to retire, on Chippewa Lake, because Jamie has just always been in love with Chippewa Lake. Its location, the lake itself, it's a really unique community, both farming on one side as well as recreation and a bit of a resort community on the other side. So we knew we wanted to retire there. We first looked at a church actually in town. This is back in January, probably November, December of last year. And because I thought we could renovate a church. Jamie and I like projects. We like redoing things, but we never do it with the intention of selling it. We do it with the intention of using it for our own, making something what we would want it to be. So the church did not fit our means. It had been renovated and chopped up and apartmentized years prior, and it didn't have any land. And although I had no interest of having any land because I was done with yard work, I grew up in a small town, Beaver Creek, down in the Dayton area, Wright Patterson Air Force Base, military family, so to speak, on the civilian side. And it was all farming community, and I did my fair share of yard work. In fact, when I was probably 9 years old, I got my first, cutting the grass, and I stayed busy, and I was helpful everywhere I could. But, I earned all my money by cutting grass, doing yard work, engine repair. I taught swimming lessons, but I did a lot of yard work and raked a lot of leaves, and my dad kept an impeccable yard, and that's highly because he put his child labor to work doing it for him, which, is evidence because as the kids got older and we started doing our own things, the yard wasn't impeccable anymore. But it's because Dad had to do it all at that point, and then I moved away, got my own house up in Cleveland out of college, and my house was stuck in trees, right in the middle of a bunch of trees in the woods. So, there I was doing yard work again. And by the way, if you buy a house that's in trees, cut all your trees down. If you buy a house and you want to grow trees around it, rethink that, because trees suck around the house. Trees are beautiful everywhere else, but around the house, around your driveway, they suck. All they do is drop shit on it all year long. Oh, they're beautiful. They grow beautiful apples, and I'm in love with my trees, but I don't want them on my house anymore. And I don't want them over my driveway where my car's parked. We don't have a garage yet that we can really utilize. We do have a garage, don't we? Might have to do that. Anyway, but trees are a lot of work. And I spent all my youth, and then out of college, how many years was I there? 22, 23, 24 years in that house where I did all the yard work, and pretty much solely did all the yard work. no slap to my ex-wife, but she was raising kids, and so, and I didn't mind doing it. But when I was done, with that lifestyle, I was done, and I didn't want to do any more yard work after that. And so that's why we were looking at a church in town with a small piece of property, and Jamie and I were looking at renovating, making something unique. We were looking at fire stations too, but couldn't find anything that would be reasonably priced. Apparently there are other people that have the same idea we do, taking some unique property like a church or a school or a fire station and turning it into your home. Thought only us. But anyway, so when we left the church, which did not suit our needs, we drove around the lake, and lo and behold, there was this big sign out front of the place we have now called Fully Furnished Farm for Sale. And to refresh your memory, in hindsight, Fully Furnished Farm, and it did. It came with all the tractors and trailers and equipment, and it also came with everything else they ever owned, including every bit of stuff they collected. I won't call it garbage because they were of a different generation. And they kept everything, including every box. Even if candy came in the box, they kept the box. And then they would discard their possessions, like their TV sets or anything that no longer worked properly. They would put it out back. And I'm not sure they had garbage pickup, but maybe they did. But in either case, they didn't want to get rid of it. And that's indicative of their age as well as the countries that they were born in and came from. But we had 17 TV sets out in the backfield. And every one of the boxes for those TV sets was neatly packed in the attic, kept in pristine condition. Not sure why. Well, pristine in the way that it was covered with bat shit, because they had a tremendous bat problem when we moved in. Which we have since rectified in the house, not in the barn so much. We still smell like bat shit every now and then when we're in the barn and we leave and we go, what's that smell? Oh, it's just me, bat shit. So we bought the property, and I'll tell you what, the first 6 months, let's see, February, where are we at now? September, so we're 6-7 months. And I'm an engineer, so my math isn't very good. But it was overwhelming. We're just now catching our breath. And when I say overwhelming, we kept the home that we were living in up in Brunswick while we were trying to get the farm ready. This was an old livestock farm, which had a bank barn, an outbuilding, we'll call a pole barn, for equipment and parties and other things. And the bank barn has, livestock stalls underneath it, which they utilize. And there's pastures. And the house was sold as a farm because since its inception back in the late 1800s, it's been a farm, a working farm. And the last probably 30 to 45 years, it was mainly a livestock farm. But anyway, we get in there and, we're overwhelmed. We don't know what to do. There's stuff stacked from floor to ceiling in every single room in the house, in the cottage, and in the bank barn. So our first job was to start, cleaning it up. We had to sort through what we want to keep, and we had a great number of days of latest discovery Parlor Farms, which was cool. And we still have that, because there's still a large portion of the place that we have not gone through. And we're waiting when the time is right to go through it, and we'll make more discoveries. But our job was to assess what was there, what we wanted to keep, what we wanted to sell, and what was garbage or recyclable. We probably took out, I would estimate, about 30 dumpster loads of stuff to the dump. And I probably had at least 15 runs to the scrapyard, metal recycling. and we had a big sale, and the sale wasn't hugely successful, but it also wasn't a bad sale. All in all, we have pretty much broken even on cleaning up what we've cleaned up so far and selling off. So we're still, we're still in the not negative zone as far as just the cleanup portion, and that was kind of our goal. Hidden treasures, we have found some pretty cool hidden treasures. We have, and some of them we have showed, some of them we haven't showed. And I will tell you this, we keep all, for the most part, all hidden treasures. We've given some neat things to some of our friends because they would value them more than we would. We've been given some really neat things that will go really neat with our farm from friends that they knew that we would value more than they do. So it's really been a fun journey in that respect. Lo and behold, if you have a birthday or if there's an opportunity where we're going to be giving you a gift, it'll probably be something from the farm that we found, acquired, or maybe made. But we've enjoyed that part of it tremendously, as I think our friends have too, building memories like that. But anyway, it's been overwhelming. When we moved in, our first 3 weeks, for the most part, was doing nothing more than putting out fires. Just crazy stuff. Like, our water system for the house and the cottage is from the cistern. The cistern gets fed from the gutters, which get fed from the roof, which get fed from bird shit and everything else that lives up there. And all of that, including all the spiders and the lovelies, end up in my 6,600 gallon cistern, which it better rain pretty soon or we're going to run out of water. I'm just telling you. I'm going to come to your house and borrow some water from you. If I do that, don't be, surprised. But it hadn't rained here in a while. We got a little rain the other day, but anyway, all that water, including all the contaminants, go into the cistern. So Tony, being a water treatment feller that he once was, decides to chlorinate. It's a great idea. Yeah, kills certain things at certain levels in the water, but not all of it. And I haven't installed my water treatment system. I have we're just putting out fires and sticking band-aids on stuff. But anyway, I chlorinate, which causes all the carbon steel plumbing in the place to start rotting away. Oh, great idea, Tony. So now we're down to one spigot that works. But in the last couple of weeks, we've gotten those repaired one day at a time. And then we usually take at least one day a week and do nothing but hang out with either the animals or our neighbors or something, to bring us joy and happiness before we go back to repairing to make it livable. And, we're still in the planning stages. We don't know 100% what we're going to do with the property, how we're going to set it up. We've got great ideas. We have planning meetings about once a week. They don't always go as planned, but I got my ideas of what I want to do. Jamie got her ideas of what she wanted to do, and together we smish them all together like mashed potatoes and come out with gravy and some type of plan that we can kind of agree with. I don't know. Yeah. And she usually gets her way, which is just the case. I'm always amazed. She has great eye for style and design, right? She's an architect. A true architect in that sense. All right, I'm an engineer. I make shit work. Architects and engineers, they don't work well together at all. No, they don't. Because the architect says, well, I want it to do this, and I want it to look like this. And the engineer says, well, you can't do that. It's not feasible to do that. You can't put a 4-inch outlet in a 1-inch wall and not have it stick out from one side or the other. It's just stuff like that. So we do our little battles here and there, and like I said, she pretty much always wins. So if you see an outlet sticking out of a wall 4 inches, just mind your business, all right? Because I gotta meet her needs, She's funny. So just in the last week or so, we've started to really get things figured out. Like, where can we reasonably live without waking up with bug bites and smells and all kinds of. The pigs helped a great deal because now everything just smells like pig shit. And so you can't smell some of the others, like the bat shit. Yeah, can't even smell it no more. But the pigs will be out on pasture soon, so now we're going to go back to smelling like bat shit again. We got to get the pigs trained on the fence, which they are now trained. So this week we're going to move the fence a little bit and see if they respond to that movement and stretch out their paddock, so to speak. So a little bit at a time, but the pigs have been a great joy, bringing them in. And it's just amazing to watch how they learn and how smart they are. They are so socially interactive, these pigs. And I know, with all animals and livestock, where you get your feeders, where you get your baby animals, and of course we recommend you starting with the babies, is very important because they will have bred them from docile and friendly animals as opposed to aggressive. Hopefully, if you get a good breeder, that's what they do. They get rid of the mean and nasty ones, and they keep the good ones, and then you can continue to breed those kinds of traits. And as you see, certain mamas not being good mamas to their babies, well, they get rid of those mamas. They become boucherie pigs. But this is, so far to me, been the most exciting part of our journey. But one of the things I was talking about earlier is Tony for the last 10 years did not have a shop to work in to do anything. I have some tools, but I keep them all in these cases in the corner of the garage, and I've really not had a place to really do any type of work on a workbench and wood cutting stuff and all that. So the farm's given me the opportunity to do that. In addition to that, it's also given me yard work to do, which, okay, I don't mind it now because I have the equipment to do it, and it is proving to help me stay in better shape physically, and it could kill me. I'm just saying. It's got to go one way or another, but it was better than sitting on the couch all the time. And come this time of year, boats come out of the water eventually, and well, we're just gonna be sitting on the couch doing nothing, like we've done for many years. We do things, but nothing extraordinary. So the farm. That's why we bought the farm, is to help us stay young. Now we have got a lot of visions, as you guys know, why we bought the farm, what we want to do out there. And we'll reveal some of those, as well as some of why we call it Parter Farms, and some of the history of the house. And with everything that we've done, many of you know this, some of you don't, but I'm a bit of a Jesus freak, and it's true. And I love Jesus, and he opens doors for you in ways that you would never thought possible, and you won't think possible unless you know him and believe in him, which I do. So, but it's interesting when you get a door that closes, and it doesn't close. Just things don't go the way you think they're going to go, and all of a sudden, boom! God opens this thing up for us, and that's happened on every single corner with this farm. I don't care if it's been tractors or concrete or whatever. We have found a way to get the stuff done that we've needed to get done in the time frame we've needed to do it. And I know that's Jesus has his hand on me. Woo! Yeah, he does. He makes me happy too. So, but this week we got, one of my goals this week is to get the kitchen into a clean state. We first moved into the home, when we first acquired the home, we cleaned that house upside down. We took everything out of it, cleaned Jamie did most all the cleaning, but we cleaned and vacuumed and cleaned and cleaned and cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. And now, because of the type of house it is, it's dirty again. Now, we haven't been able to do a lot of cleaning because A, we've just been running around putting out fires, and B, we have stuff from our old home stacked everywhere, because we weren't going to really move into this home right away. A lot of our stuff's in storage. A lot of our stuff's in totes. And we haven't unpacked any of it. And we really don't intend to unpack any of it right yet. But as a result, we don't have a lot of room to do a lot of cleaning, and we don't know where to put stuff. So things are still in a disarray. But we're hopeful within the next couple of weeks to get 2 rooms spick and span. One is the kitchen, because that's where we spend a great deal of time. And 2 is the bathroom, the upstairs bathroom. And I got to come up with a, maintenance plan for that and the existing septic system, which is that septic system, I don't know about that. So, but that's where we're at. We're feeling really good. Life when you're living down in the trenches and you got one fire putting out after the next, it can get a little bit overwhelming, But Jamie's got a solid head on her shoulders, and she brings me back to reality. Occasionally, I have a helpful thought, and I help bring her back to reality. And between the 2 of us, we've been able to maintain a pretty solid, positive, move forward, step-by-step outlook, working with some really good people and coming up with some designs and plans on what we want to do. And I think we're going to go into fall with a pretty solid plan as to what we can get done before snow starts flying up here, and where we're going to live comfortably, or maybe not so comfortably. We don't need comfort. Let's be honest. Jamie and I have lived the life of comfort for so long. Honestly, it's been an extraordinary life. And although we've always lived well under our means, we live like people that have many, many means more than us. And that, again, it's a tribute to Jamie, because she's smart with so many things, including finance, investment, and making moves at the right time. But be interesting to see how the fall brings some change to our farm, and what we can do with it, and continue to clean it. And we want to start inviting folks out and having a few little events, like tester events, so to speak. And although Jamie will say, no, we can't. Yeah, we can. You guys start doing it. You guys start doing it right now. We've already had a couple little parties, small. We had an open house kind of party to meet your neighbors type of thing. And we need to have another one of those, and that type of stuff. And it also helps keep me in practice, because if I'm not cooking something on a regular basis, and I'm no chef, all right, I just like to eat, and I like to experiment, and sometimes I make some things that are okay, and I need to get back into. I need to build out my preservation room for doing my charcuterie. Right now, that's all just sitting in limbo. It's all up and running, but I don't have a workspace yet developed to add to it and continue. So, lots to do, and Tony's getting the bug to start cutting up some meat. And if Eddie don't behave himself, well, he'll be one of the first things that... Actually, Eddie's been doing pretty good lately. We have learned that we just carry a big net around with us, and, well, Eddie's afraid of the net because he knows what happens. He knows he's going to get some loving when the net comes out. So we walk with the net, and Eddie goes and runs away, and he's actually been doing pretty good lately. Now, if you don't have the net with you, he's going to try to take your leg off, but that's a different story. So, thought I'd give you an update. I know it's a long one, but, once in a while, you got to kind of spell it out, what you're doing. And it also helps. It's like learning something. The best way to learn something is to teach it and talk about it. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Anyway, You guys all have a good day.